أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نعمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمد عبده ورسوله. Praise be to Almighty Allah. We seek His help and His forgiveness. We seek His refuge from the evil of our own souls and from our own bad deeds. Because whomsoever Allah guides will never be led astray, or whomsoever Allah leaves astray, no one can guide. We bear witness that there's no other God but Allah, and He has no other partner, and His Prophet is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We send blessing and salutation to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to every one of us here in this program and those that will be joining us later. Well, I welcome you all to this special CNMO program, Council of Nigerian Muslim Organizations, and then organized by our welfare committee by none other than our Alaja Fausat Babalola. You can see a picture there, and our colleague who is Ganiu, Alaji Ganiu. So I'm just here as your moderator. My name is Said Jimo. And without wasting our time, we need to do opening dua. And I can see our Imam Adeagbo, the chairman of our committee of Imams, to lead us in the opening dua. Bismillah, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نعمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا ومن يهد الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبر تكبيرا سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. We seek the refuge from the accursed Satan in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. We thank God, we appreciate God, we believe in Him, and may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we thank Almighty Allah for witnessing this day, Ramadan talk today that we start today. Last year we done it. Before last year we've done it. We seek from the Allah that may our life witness more of it in this life. And may Almighty Allah support the organizers and our speaker. May Almighty Allah lead them to the straight path. And every one of us will start in the name of Allah. When we want to end it, we end it in peace. May Allah accept our prayer. Thank you very much to the organizer. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmi Din. إياك نعبد ونستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you for the beautiful dua. All that you prayed for us, we wish you the same too. May Almighty Allah continue to work so stronger in our community. So next that I have before me is just a brief talk from our Amir. I think I saw him there before. Amir Muniruddin Ajayi. Are you still with us, sir?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah.
All praises due to Allah. We send salutations to our noble Prophet Muhammad. We seek benediction for him, for the entire household and the Sahabas. And we ask Allah to continue to be pleased with all those who have strived the cause of Islam, and for time till now, true to the day of Qiyamah, including ourselves. Amen. I bring warm greetings to you from the CNMO, particularly the leadership of the CNMO, the executive team, which we all time refer to as the servants, so to say. So we bring this greeting to you on behalf of the various arms and structures of the CNMO, i.e. the committee of imams, committee of head of organizations, the youth, and everybody in collectivity. We ask Allah to continue to be with us all and bring warm greetings to you as well. As we know, Rasulullah, when he got to Medina, rested our hope, the hope of the Muslims, on the fact of building a community, which he spent all his preachings, his teachings in the Islamic time, talking about the community. And that again, that resonates when he was about to pass on, when he was leaving us. I mean, he said the last phrases or the speeches that come out of Rasulullah's mouth, for those who were close to him at that time, was Ummati, 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 symbolizing my community, my congregation. So that alone imparted much on our forebearers here in the UK, like the of Professor Baba Noibi, Baba Sheikh Najimuddin Al-Kubra II, Alhaji Salami, and a lot of them, even including Alhaji Garbasani and Brother Adioye and all of them, who were forebearers in this thought around setting up a community, particularly for Nigerian Muslims. So it is not by error, it is not by mistake. It is just an extension of the lessons which Rasulullah left behind that guided these our forebearers. So they thought it wise to say, okay, it is good for us to come together as a community with that unique identity of being a Nigerian Muslim, So all organizations that existed then, about 30 years ago, came together to form what they call Council of Nigerian Muslim Organizations. Of course, it came under different names, but this is the name that finally come to settlement. It was formerly CCNMO. A lot of names have gone round before it finally come to the CNMO. So we are grateful to these forebearers for taking us for establishing that then, and then even getting it sustained up till now. We thank Allah for that. So principally, what the CNMO does is, one, it continues to serve as the umbrella body for the Nigerian Muslim organizations. Currently, it has about 21 membership, which time will not permit me to start listing all the names, but on our flyers here and there, I'm sure you see all these retinue of names there of organizations. And the door is still open to have more and more organizations coming in. So we serve as umbrella body for all these Nigerian Islamic organizations. And we agree that we continue to remain a single voice for the community. So we've run into some segmentations like the elders group, the youth, the women, and a lot of all the segmentations that we think of in the community. So we have built a very deep outreach to everybody, and we created a niche for each of these age segmentations. And that is why we also have this health talk today. This health talk today is, I'm sure, from our sister Rodia, who is also a very prolific speaker and a health consultant and a go-to person in terms of welfare. So it's not by error that we're bringing this to focus this afternoon. So CNMO has been there. It's serving as a hub for our social needs, our welfare, our support in all forms. I mean, it's a hub. It has become a one-stop shop for the community, if you ask me. And so we continue to remain so. So our thought or our wish is that the number will continue to grow. And we're also a member we are affiliated to the MCB, which is Muslim Council of Britain. So whatever comes, we also have our voice there, such that whatever we want get filters to the MCB, and it becomes part of what the system of the structure of governance come to also recognize. So to that effect, we continue to remain who we are, and we are open to more membership. I want to thank the community, the assembly, and the entire Muslim Ummah, especially of Nigerian extraction, for continuing to be with the CNMO and to seek to attend all its functions, just as we have today. I know we're just 26 now on the platform, which I'm sure in a few minutes time we'll have a good number joining, and we'll get the best of benefit of what our sister is coming to deliver. So we ask Allah to continue to be pleased with us, to grant us success. And as we approach Ramadan approach us, we ask him to give us good health and with the wherewithal and the provision to observe the fast and many more, inshallah, in our lifetime. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, our Amir, for that brief presentation. We appreciate your presentation and taking us through the history of how CNMO started and all that. So without wasting our time, I know we are all important people and we want to enjoy what we came here for. And I just want to remind us, perhaps if you don't know what topic you want to treat, the topic we want to treat today is healthy aging, a secret to longevity from a place of nutrition. I'll take that again. Healthy aging, a secret to longevity from a place of nutrition. Our sister, which I know by now, she's no longer a guest, but we like to call people that we bring in to speak with us as guest speaker or lecturer, perhaps. So her name is Rodia Oriyomi Abdul Kabir. But we will not do justice to this introduction if we do not give her that befitting introduction, so that we understand what she has done to get herself to where she is today. And the person that will do that for us is that our turbocharged Assistant General Secretary, Sister Sophia Salau. Please help us read our profile before we make a start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So our sister Rodia, she has a background in diploma in Arabic and Islamic studies before she proceeded to study in Tai Solarin University of Education at Ijebu-Ode. Then at Ijebu-Ode to study chemistry and mathematics degree. And here in UK, she has a level 5 diploma in human nutrition and health coaching from CNM, that's College of Naturopath Medicine. And she also has a level 3 diploma in health and social care from South Essex College. And she also has level 3 in teaching assistant from the same college. Please welcome our sister, Sister Rodia. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I know if you give our sister even the whole day, is something that she loves to talk about. So without any further ado, Alaja Rodia, the floor is yours. Take over. Everybody wants to enjoy your talk today. You are still on mute if you don't know.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And I do hope that I'm audible enough. Yes, alhamdulillah. Like you said, we are not going to waste any more time. We have done enough introduction. But there's one thing that I love to do when I give my speech, because this is something, aside the fact that I talk about health issues, aside the fact that this is what I do, this is coming from a place of passion for me because it is personal. You know, sometimes when you get on a journey in life, there is always a motive. There is always a reason you embark on that journey. So, in a few minutes, let me just quickly say, how did I get here? So that you people will understand when I start to speak, you will understand the reason, the passion, the motive behind this movement. Because to me, this is a movement. I am trying as much as possible to get my message out there, to spread it across to everyone that is willing to listen and take action the way I have done. The journey started in 2019 when my mom died. It was sometimes when people, we've all listened to motivational speakers, they've always said things like, oh, when something happened, don't stay down, find a strength from your weakness. Okay, find a strength from what is, then 2019, I became so intentional in taking this personally. So the death of my mom was a kind of wake-up call for me, why I actually took it upon myself to say, you know what? I am going to spread this message to others. And when we talk about healthy aging, before I started in the area of nutrition alone, when I started my journey in the field of nutrition, in fact, not just nutrition, functional nutrition, holistic nutrition, because there is a huge difference between practicing holistically. When we look at medicine, for example, we have conventional medicine, which the one we all know, we have our doctors, our physicians, our consultants, in the field of medicine. And then there's another part of medicine that people don't normally talk about or they are not aware of, which is the aspect of functional medicine. And for a student of knowledge like me, I understand the difference. I know that when a conventional doctor is talking about medical issues, I know. When a functional medicine doctor is talking about health issues, I know. I can differentiate it. So when I started this journey, like I was saying, the death of my mom was a kind of wake-up call for me. I do not know. Maybe we have some people here online that had this, how can I say, we have people, they were on ground with me when my mom died. And I am telling you firsthand of what I'm talking about. These people, firsthand information, they can buttress what I'm saying, how the death of my mom really changed my life. It's changed my life, and up until this moment, I know how it has really changed my life. So then I got to understand that how can we really age gracefully away from nutrition, away from what we eat? And that is where I'm going to start. Healthy aging is not all about nutrition, it's not all about what we eat. There are a lot of aspects of our life that if we don't look into these areas, no amount of nutrient-dense food you eat that will work. No amount of medication the doctor prescribed for you that will make any sense if you don't look into these areas. So, and that is why you can see the topic. It's all encompassed. It's all, we have a lot of, big words to define it. Healthy aging. And before I also move on, I would love to really sound this caution that I am not a medical doctor. I am not a consultant. I am not a physician in any way. So whatever it is that I say here today should not be taken in replacement for your medical advice. You still need to consult with your doctors. You still need to consult with your healthcare providers. So again, whatever I say here today should not be taken in replacement for your medical advice. Please consult with your doctors. Thank you. So healthy aging, the definition, it is a continuous process. And that is what is going to take me to all these other aspects of our lives. Before we even get to nutrition, nutrition is the last on the list. So because healthy aging should be a continuous process, You know, in Islam, alhamdulillah, the first hadith is about our intentions, right? Whatever it is you want to do, your intention must come, first. And when it comes to your health, this is the same thing. You have to be intended in the first place that you want to remain healthy. You want to have healthy aging. You want to age gracefully. I want to get to 50. I want to get to 60. I don't want to have any health issue. I don't want to have any metabolic, issue that I have to deal with. It has to start with your intention. So it is a continuous process of harnessing all opportunities to maintain and improve mental, physical, social, cognitive, and emotional health. So that is, let me say, just one of the simple definition I can give to healthy aging. Then longevity. We know we all want to live longer. We all want to get to 60, 70, 80, even 90. But I say to people, longevity is not all about the numbers on the paper. It is not all about you want to get to 60, 70, 80. No. Because sometimes when you see what some elderly people are going through in that old age, many of us will pray that, you know what? No, I don't think this is good. I don't want to get here. So it is not all about the numbers. What are you doing to maintain those numbers? You don't want to get to 60, 70, and then you are dealing with 4, 5, 6 health issues. That old age will not be worth it at the end of the day. It is going to be a waste. It is going to mentally, financially, emotionally, it is going to be draining when you get to old age and then nothing to even show for it. Because one misconception people have around old age or aging is, as we age, people feel like automatically we just have to deal with health issues. Oh, it comes with age. Oh, that person has got it. Oh, it is age. Oh, that person has got this. Oh, it's age. We just automatically assume that we have to be ill. And, that is no. Old age does not mean that we have to have illness or sickness. Yes, nature will take its toll on us. Of course, there will be degeneration. We are going to have degeneration in a lot of, areas, of course, but not to a point where you have to lose 5 things. We will get there. I work in the care. I have first-hand information, in regards to old age. It is not a beautiful place to be if you do not look after or take care of these 5 things that we'll get to. So I call them, I call them pillars of healthy aging. We have a lot of them, but because of time, I'm going to look into 5 today. So the pillars of healthy aging that we all, by all means, you want to leave this space. Moving forward, you get your pen. In fact, when I do my talk, I would love for people to come with pen and paper and put things down. And then even one of those things, make sure you start, incorporating this into your life. Just start simple. One, even if you have 10 things, just pick one that you can be consistent with. That is what matters when it comes to your health. So the pillars of healthy aging, the most important of all these pillars, your mental health. Because like I said, it is not about what you eat. If you are not mentally upright, if you lack mental health, if your brain, your cognitive function is not at the optimal level, there is nothing you will eat that you're going to get any benefit from. Because the primary reason we eat, we are not eating for fun. There is a purpose behind eating. There is a purpose behind food that we eat. The primary purpose is to provide us with nutrients that we need for the system, for our metabolic processes. So if you are not getting this, if the purpose is lost already, so what is the point? Many of us are eating today, we are just eating for the sake of it. We are not getting anything out of it, because all these other areas that should come first, we are not looking into those areas. So your mental health, it is important. Everything starts from here. Like I said, I work with elderly people, seniors. I see things. And every single day, before I got that job, I never knew. I have read about it. I've read about people working in care, how these other people behave. I've read about it. I've studied. But for me to be present, to see it, to witness that, it's changed a lot of things for me. Even in the way that I have put my own plan in place to say, you know what? I am not even giving in. Even the nature will have to drag me. Well, Allah is there. We know we've been destined, everything has been destined, predestined. We understand that, whatever Allah has written, your time. But you know what, like I said, it's not about the numbers. I may probably not even have next 5 years here. I may probably even have next 1 year here. I know. But I want to make sure that even if I'm here for 40 years, if I'm here for 50 years, God willing, I want to be fulfilled. I want to make sure that, my health, I look after it. And that is it. So when we talk to people about healthy aging, it's not about the numbers. You may probably just have 60 years or 50 or 65 or whatever it is, but make sure those numbers count. Make sure you put plans in place that will address all aspects of your life. You can harness all these opportunities around you, to maintain, and then we sustain. It is the sustainability of those years that we need. That is healthy aging. You don't have to get to 60 and then 70 and people start calling you, you can't even walk few steps. You can't even walk down, you can't even jog for 5 minutes. You can't even do things. It is not normal. Aging does not mean like you have to go through all these things. No. So mental health. Look after your mental health. Then your cognitive function comes under that. Make sure you're challenging your brain every time. Make sure your social life is outstanding. Make sure you have social connection with people around you. These are the things that matter when it comes to cognitive function. How are you keeping your brain occupied? Are you always stressed? We are going to get there. It is one of the things under cognitive function or mental health. We see today people with dementia, people with, neurological disorders. I'm sure we have doctors here. They will tell you right now there is no permanent cure for dementia, for example. And somebody like me, I have done dementia training like 10 times. I understand why there may probably not be a permanent cure for it. It has to be managed. There is a reason there is no cure for it. And it makes sense when you get to know, truly. Our brain is powerful. It is the power engine for every other thing. Anything that goes wrong here is going to affect every other part. Nothing. So look after your mental health. Mental health is linked to longevity. So look after it. Do everything within your power. And how do you do that? That comes to the next one, your nutrition. How nutrition is linked to longevity. Because before your brain can work properly, you need to provide all the raw materials for the brain to work with. You see, if you understand physiology and anatomy, alhamdulillah, we are Muslims. You're just going to, it's so fascinating how Allah has really taken its time to put this body together. When you understand all the functions, every single part of our body, their functions, why they are there, why they do what they do, it is so, So there is a connection between all of them. Your brain will not work properly if you do not have good nutrition, raw materials to prepare, to provide for your brain. And that is where you need to look into your diet. What are you feeding your brain with? If you want to have a good product, then you need to have good raw materials to make that happen. It happens also with every, part of our body. Your diet, what are you feeding because your brain, your blood is going to take, your oxygenated blood is going to take all the nutrients from the food you eat. It's going to take it to your brain. So what are you transporting there? You see people with depression today, anxiety, all this. Let me tell you, these things they are not diseases. They are not illness. When there's people with depression is not a disease. Type 2 diabetes is not a disease. All these things, they are just disorders. Something that is not working properly. And everything that is a disorder can be, reordered. You can rearrange things. Some people that are on medication for depression today, if they understand how this body, how it was put together, everything they need to do, they may probably not even need that medication to start with. People on medication for type 2 diabetes, 80% of the people on type 2 diabetes, they do not need those medications. I'm telling you, because it is not a disease. It is a disorder. So you look into your diet. And when it comes to your diet, what are the things that you must prioritize? Making sure your cognitive function is at the optimal level. We have 102 nutrients, micro and the macros. What that means is that macros, we need them in large amounts. The micros, we need them just little amount. Altogether, we have 102 of these nutrients. 92 out of those 102 are called essentials. What that means is that anyhow, throughout the day, you have to have 92 nutrients consumed. The one that will, go to the brain, the one, for your eyes, for everything, your mitochondria, which is the powerhouse for our cell tissues. This is where everything is going to go to. They are waiting. All these cells are waiting for all this nutrients to come in. As raw material, they are waiting to get a job. So what are you providing? So 92 out of these nutrients, you have to consume them through your food every single day. And trust me, even Rodia, I don't think I'm even close to that. The fact that I even understand nutrition, I am still not even close. Now, let us think about the people with zero knowledge of nutrition. So, that it's going to be worse. So, but because of time, like I said, we are not going to go into everything today. Let me just mention the few nutrients that are so important, like raw materials, that if your body doesn't see these ones, you are going to be ill. You will have to deal with sickness. You will have to deal with illness. There's nothing you can do. We cannot just continue to blame these, blame village people, or blame that, without taking into account our own part in this problem. When I have one-on-one consultation with people with type 2 diabetes, for example, that is why my one-on-one consultation is not, I have to get it. At the end of the day, you'll have to be the one to agree with me that, you know what, genuinely, I think I'm beginning to see how, you have to acknowledge that part, that's your own, how can I say it? How you are able to contribute your own contribution towards that problem. People can blame it on genetics today. Oh, my great-grandfather has got it. My great-grandmother has got it. Oh, automatically I have to have it. No, you do not have to have it. Because something is genetic does not mean like automatically it has to be paid forward to you. You can say, you know what? No, this one is not going to be paid forward to me. And there are things to do to not be counted, to not be part of it. I did that. When my mom died, like I said, I made that decision. My mom had 7 siblings, and they all died 1 year apart. A year apart, they all died. My mom was the last child. She died last. 12 months prior to the time my mom died, when her own elder sister died, my mom said, you know what, there's no point you guys preaching to me. I know in the next 1 year I'm going to die. So there's no point. Even though things, Allah had already, perfected everything. Destiny has already, it will take place and everything. But there are things you can do. Like I said, everything starts from here. If you believe that you are sick, you are going to be sick. People with cancer on sick bed, I am telling you, it is not the cancer that ends up killing most of these people. It is all the fear, all the things that come after that diagnosis. Coming together, that is what actually impacts their lives. Why do you think now I'm so happy, I'm smiling, talking to you? In the next 1 minute, if I want to start crying from nowhere, if I want to put on emotion and then I just start crying, I feel sad, I can do it. It's all here. Why do you think the actors and actors, they just say, oh, they are smiling and laughing, playing, they say action, and you see them crying? You can reach into your superconscious mind and bring anything out. If you want to bring sadness out right now, you can do it. If I want to be sick in the next 2 days, I know what I can do. It's all here. If you are on that sick bed and you want to think your way out of that sickness, science has proven it that we can do it. So number 1 key nutrient for your brain function, for your cognitive function, your proteins. It is important. It is the building block for every cell that we have in our body. Nothing you eat, if you don't prioritize proteins in your food, there's something we call muscle atrophy. And now let us link that to old age. You notice, when you start to age, one physical thing you're going to notice, one physical feature you're going to notice, when people start to get to old age, is muscle atrophy. You notice that, you start to get wrinkles, you start to lose your muscle everywhere, go to stand, they let go, okay, everything becomes, they start to lose the elasticity of the skin and everything, weak bones. All these are due to muscle atrophy. You lose your muscle mass if you don't put it to use. And it's going to take me back to, do not link old age to weakness. You can be 80 years and stronger than someone that is 40 years or 50. It depends on how you put your muscle to use. When you put your muscle, there's something we say, you lose it when you don't use it. You lose it when you don't use it. That is muscle atrophy. The more you use your muscle, the stronger it becomes. It does not matter your age. It does not matter the numbers on the paper. So, and how do you achieve that? Physical health. That is going to take me to the next one. Physical health. Many of us today, we don't, you think because you just walk to work, that your physical health is something you have to be intentional about. 2-3 times per week, 1 hour, you get into the gym, you lift. You have to lift. You have to make sure your muscles are strong. You have to squat, you have to go down, you have to make sure you are doing squatting, you have to make sure that at this age, some of us at 50 years old, we can't even walk up the stairs. That is abnormal. Let's not wrap it around, I'm getting old, it's getting old. Some of us even glamorize it, like it is normal. Like at 50, you're not supposed to be able to walk up the stairs and run for 15 minutes and jog and lift. And you see, when we start to get older, that is when our people become, genuinely, they just, because we just feel like, they are getting old now. They're not supposed to be doing something strenuous, something. No, that is when you have to encourage them to be lifting, to be active, because they don't use it, they lose it. And it's going to make the old age, even all the symptoms that come with the old age, it's going to make everything worse for them. If you have all, the people that are old, like our parents, encourage them to get active. Buy paper for them, let them start reading, let them do that one to keep their brain sharp. Don't allow everywhere to remain redundant, not being put to use. Let them have social life. Let them connect. Let them talk. Take them out. All these things will help. Like I said, protein is important for building the muscle. And another one that is very crucial for the brain, omega-3 fatty acids. Oily fish, meat, animal source of protein in general. It is important. I know some of us, they say, oh, don't eat meat. When you get to food, you don't eat meat. It is do that, all these things. Like I said, functional medicine is different from conventional medicine. There is no functional medicine doctor on the surface of the earth that will tell you should not eat meat at 40. That you should be taking medication for type 2 diabetes. That you should be, don't eat egg because it has cholesterol. There is no functional medicine doctor that will say that to you. It has to be conventional medicine. You need fat for the brain to not dry up. Our brain is 70% fat. And out of that 70%, 35% is cholesterol. So you need cholesterol for the brain to not dry up. According to the recent studies, go read. Majority of the people with dementia, they have low cholesterol. They don't have fat in the brain. It's a raw material for the brain. So if you continue to eat fat-free food, if you want to eat that chicken, it has to be just the lean one. Take the fat off. If you want to eat that meat, don't eat because of the fat and yogurt and fat-free. You are denying your brain the raw material it needs to function. You need to eat food that are high in cholesterol naturally. Like I said, there's no time. There's no time. So cholesterol, like I said, we have to serum cholesterol and dietary cholesterol. When you go for that lipid profile test to check your cholesterol level, people just focus on the cholesterol. You have triglycerides. You have other precursors there. You have other biomarkers there. Leave the cholesterol because it is essential. You need it. If you are taking medication to lower your cholesterol, you are in for a big problem as you age. Egg, meat, the offals, the one we call assorted, what do we call them? Assorted meats, the offals. Our seeds, our nuts, melon seed, egusi, palm oil, beef tallow, the fat that comes naturally without your meat, without your chicken, without your turkey, without your seed. There is a purpose Allah put that fat in there. It's for the brain. Don't remove it. There is absolutely no way something that is extremely processed will be better than something that is natural. Never. I do not even want to know the research, the clinical trials that have been done to say, you know what, vegetable oil, hydrogenated oil, with a is better than natural fat that comes with that. Allah is wise. He has already perfected everything that we need. Everything is in nature. How can someone say to you to abandon nature and then embrace what is? No. So you need to prioritize fat if you don't want to end up with dementia, because your brain will dry up if you don't provide cholesterol and fat. And another thing, your vitamin D. Let me tell you, especially this country, many of our mamas and babas that are dealing with health issues, with brain system, with arthritis, osteoporosis, osteomalacia, anything that's got to do with the bone, I am telling you, 80% is lack of, vitamin D. We are all deficient. Even some of us that are even younger, we are deficient in vitamin D, especially Black people. There is a reason. During the summertime, you see our people splashing. What is it called? Sunscreen. I love it, people. You don't need sunscreen if you have dark skin. So you don't, because you need sun to activate vitamin D. And you cannot compare your own skin with the white people. We have more melanin than white people. Your melanin has already put you at a disadvantage of having, a lot of UVA and UVB that's going to activate your vitamin D. So the little one you are going to get, don't block it. White people, they've got more advantage in having that, radiation to come in, because they do not have as much. So you need vitamin D. And cholesterol is what is even going to activate your vitamin D, because cholesterol is the raw material for vitamin D. You see how everything is connected. If you lack cholesterol, you are going to be low in vitamin D because there's no raw material. So you need cholesterol for vitamin D. You need cholesterol for your sex hormones. Low libido today. We see our men, low libido, our women too. Oh, I'm not inside. Because low vitamin D, there's no cholesterol to make your vitamin D. So all of this. I can see one comment. I'm sorry, maybe you're just joining. I have said it earlier on. I am not a medical doctor. Whatever it is that I say here today, please consult with your doctors, consult with your healthcare providers. I am only speaking from my own, place of knowledge, in the area of holistic nutrition. I am also even a student of functional medicine, a student of knowledge. I am constantly learning. I'm still in school, I'm learning, I'm studying. So this is not a replacement for your medical advice. And whatever I say here today does not mean that I am trying to belittle. How can I? How? There is a place for medicine. Without medicine, somebody like me here, I may probably have been dead by now. Because I remember years ago that I was so sick that my parents thought that I would die. But when I got to the hospital, in the next few minutes, the doctors, bless them. So no one will even belittle the impact of medicine, modern medicine, when it comes to our health. I'm only speaking from a place of nutrition and how everything. For example, if I say to you today that medical doctors, sometimes when I speak to people, you see them say about, yeah, my doctor said I shouldn't eat this. My doctor, and I say that's a problem. How can you trust medical doctors with dietary recommendation in the first place? That is the wrong step. Does that mean a few doctors are not, they are experts? But experts in their own field, they can prescribe medication, they can do diagnosis, they can check for your symptoms, they know how to prevent, they know how to manage your symptoms. But imagine you saying, doctor said I should not eat ego because it contains cholesterol. Doctors are not dietitians. They are not nutritionists. That is what I'm saying. You cannot trust a doctor when it comes to dietary recommendation. The first person to consult when it comes to dietary recommendation, is a dietitian. The same thing, or the same way a dietitian cannot put herself or himself in the place of a medical doctor and prescribe medication. I want to check your symptoms. I want to see what we can't. So that is what I'm saying. For example, doctors can say, okay, because in medicine is not, they have knowledge of nutrition, maybe basic knowledge of nutrition. Basic knowledge of nutrition. So, but if you really want to get to the issue that has got to do with, diet and nutrition and food, you are going to be consulting a dietitian for that. So that does not mean like, we are saying doctors do not have knowledge or do not, but in that area, their knowledge is limited. It is limited. So then vitamin D, then we need calcium. However, with the calcium, there is a problem with calcium, because when we speak about bone health, people think about calcium. Calcium is not the boss when it comes to bone health. It is vitamin D. Because if you do not have vitamin D, your calcium is just going to be building up. This is why we advise people that are taking supplement to be careful with supplement. To be careful with supplement. You need to make sure your doctors, they've confirmed, maybe through blood test, that you are deficient, in a particular nutrient before you can jump on supplement. There are supplements that can actually end up harming you or destroying your vital organs. Calcium is one of them. You can have calcification of your arteries. You can have calcium, deposits around your soft tissues. So if you do not need calcium, and then you're just using it, that is a problem. Also, vitamin D. It has to be confirmed that you are deficient in vitamin D by your doctors before you can jump on one. Because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. We don't want it too much. It shouldn't accumulate. So accumulation of it can trigger health issue. So make sure, that is why I said before I started, consult with your doctor first before you do anything. So before you do anything, consult with your doctor. So then hydration. Our brain is largely, water. You need to make sure you're constantly hydrating your brain to keep it functioning properly. So, and when we talk about hydration, I'm talking about water. Then I'm talking about liquid that have what's that? Electrolytes, not sodas, not drinks with sugar, and stuff like that. We're talking about like maybe pure coconut water because it has a lot of electrolytes in there, magnesium, potassium. So that is a good one. Then if your coffee or tea or something, just make sure the sugar, just make sure you control the sugar. So yes, but sugar is the problem. Your brain doesn't, yeah, we need sugar, we need carbohydrates, but not processed ones, okay? We're talking about whole carb, complex carbohydrates, the one we have in food, potatoes, yam, cassava, rice, anything carbohydrates, yes. So when people say, oh, yeah, you can't say we need sugar, yes. Because what you need to understand is any carbohydrate food you eat, the end result is sugar, glucose. So when we say we need sugar, we don't necessarily mean that, refined sugar or maybe our table sugar. Any food that is classified as a carbohydrate, the end product, it does not matter if it is fruit, it does not matter if it is vegetable, it does not matter if it is potato or rice or whatever you bread, the end product, honey and everything, date, the end product is glucose, sugar. So we need to understand that. And then the next one is stress management. How do you have healthy aging without controlling your stress? Stress is the number one killer of every organ that we have here. If you are constantly stressed, your brain function will be distorted. It's not going to function properly. Your brain will not function properly. If you're constantly stressed, your liver will pay for it because you will have to make sure your liver is working with other organs to produce all these hormones to control the stress. If you constantly trigger your stress hormone, if you constantly trigger your sex hormone, it's going to give up. You are going to blow your adrenal pathway. You are going to blow it off. And that will impact, everything. So control the stress or you manage. Yes, we can't do without stress, but we have the stress that will not trigger metabolic, syndromes or issues. Sympathetic system, parasympathetic central nervous system, not a stress that is going to impact, your body or your system. So if you are constantly, you need to understand the use of the term constantly. That does not mean like, oh, we all have stress in our lives, I understand. But stress management, it is linked, definitely linked with our longevity. So we need to control that. So, and then that is going to take me to the last one. I am supposed to put this first, but there is a reason I put it last, the genetics. Yes. I understand that now, majority of us, how genetics, how it impacts our health and everything. When you go to the hospital now, and then the doctors, after diagnosis, they can say, oh, you have high cholesterol, maybe definitely you have someone in the family that has high cholesterol, so definitely you have to, diabetes runs in the family. Oh, yeah. The impact of this, I am not even denying it, that genetics cannot be part of this problem. But where I have issue with is many of us just kind of like agree with it. And that can impact the way we try to resolve health issues. Some people just automatically believe that there is nothing they can do about that high cholesterol just because it runs in the family. That type 2 diabetes, just because it runs in the family, there is nothing they can do to reverse it or to even manage it or something. They just want to, there especially things that are not diseases. Like I said, lifestyle choices can make a whole lot of difference with it. Your lifestyle choices. What are you doing? What are you putting in place? Are you just going to accept the fact that because my mom had 7 siblings and they all died 1 year apart, we, the children, we just kind of agree with that, like, okay, well, there's no point anyway. I think it runs in the family. I think we should just go with that. Then, okay, no. Even if that is the case, you still want to say, you know what? I'm going to put in my own effort. I'm still going to put in my own effort. And how do you do that? You try to go back to that root cause. Because when I look at my own lineage, when I see everything that happened with my mom and her sibling and everything, I try to, picture everything and I see where the problem is coming from. And if you don't do things differently from the way they have done it, you are definitely going to be part of that. These are the people that were chronically stressed all through their lives. These are the people that were, that had to deal with chronic poverty, growing up and all through their adult age. These are the people, and they are all women. These are the people that had to deal with, marriage issues, children. When you look at it, there's no way this person will even survive this. So what are you doing differently to not be counted, to not be part of it? We say even genetics can load the gun, but your lifestyle will end up, to actually make sure there's a way we say, like, to pull the trigger. Genetic can load the gun, but your lifestyle will be the one to pull that trigger. So that is what I feel. Like, okay, if this is the case, what my mom did that made us suffer for this and this and this, I am not going to do that. I'm going to do things differently. So, and this is part of the reason why I came up, even with the community on WhatsApp. I call it Generational Health Community Scheme, where we talk about everything and anything around our health, not just nutrition. Because according to everything that I've said, we can see that many things can even impact our health, not even nutrition. Stress, mental health, emotional well-being, your physical health. If you remain sedentary, you're not active. So because all these things will trigger metabolic syndromes, they will trigger health issues. And so far you have health issues to deal with, then old age will become, it's a struggle already. It's a struggle already. Like I said, I work with people with dementia. One thing I've come to realize with people with dementia, because yes, it comes with age, as we age. And that is because as we age, everything we feel like we have done in the past that we think we can get away with, they are coming back to haunt us when we get to old age. We are going to pay for it. This is why even medical doctors, when they diagnose you of type 2 diabetes, they will tell you that diabetes is not even a matter of 5 years or even 10 years. In the last 20, 25 years, your insulin has started to resist in the first place. You don't even know. Before you get to a stage of type 2 diabetes, like, you don't even think about maybe your last 10 years. No. 15, 20, 25 years, you may have started to develop all the symptoms, and it started with insulin resistance and everything. But because, before it actually gets to the last stage of type 2 diabetes. The same for kidney disease. When you see people with chronic disease now, chronic kidney disease, your kidney may have started to even, oh, because you have billions of nephrons holding your kidneys together. You must have destroyed all these nephrons before you even get to like stage 1 kidney disease. Imagine, it's even in stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3A, 3B, stage 4. Imagine all the damage for years before you even get to the end stage. So it's already a combination of our lifestyle choices over the years put together that will determine how much of a pain we have to deal with during our old age, or how much of, at least some sort of enjoyment that we are going to have when we get to that stage. The people with dementia, like I said, one thing I noticed about them is that people just associate memory loss with them. They say, oh, memory loss, they have memory. It is not all about memory loss. Many of them don't even have memory loss. But because their brain is working in 50 years ago, someone you're talking to right now, the information that has been processed in that person's brain, we're talking about 50, 30, 40 years information. So imagine talking to someone with dementia right now, and you expect that what you say to them should just register and process, and then they'll give you response. That is how you notice what they are saying. It's just like, you don't understand. You will not understand, because what you've just said to them will have to go on the queue 20, 30 years information before it can be processed. Everything you see them say, these are the old information that have to come out so the new ones can be registered and be processed. So their brain lives in 1950, like years back. So, and like I said, we don't even know the causes yet. Yeah, from vascular, these and then, Alzheimer disease, because dementia itself is not a disease. It's a combination of all the symptoms that has got to do with brain. So dementia is not a disease. Yeah, Alzheimer disease, you can say Alzheimer disease, but dementia itself is not a disease on its own. So we have all this. So let us try. Let us try. And one thing for somebody like me, this is how I started my own journey to say, you know what? Even if I want to be here for 50 years, 60, well, God, I don't know how long, even maybe 3 years, I don't know. I want to be healthy. And everything is going to take me to achieve that. I am putting in my effort. And the first thing that I did was to do what I called decluttering of my brain. I started to declutter my brain. I call it mental decluttering. We are too cluttered in here. Life issues, children, job, financial crisis, these. We have so much going on here. So I started to do brain dumping, to declutter. When you do decluttering, you start from the things you do not even need in the first place. What do I have here that is just taking up space that I don't even need in here? So I started to do that. Okay, stress. Okay, what are the things? What are the areas of my life to do where stress is coming from? Okay, let's start one at a time. One at a time. We can do that. One at a time. So, yes, I think on this, let me see, someone, they said, okay, I think I'm going to stop here. Then I will leave the rest to Brother Sai to see. Maybe there is question, maybe there is anything I've said that, we need clarification with. So, right. So thank you so much.
Now, Jazakallah khairan. I know if I allow you, give you 5 hours, you have a lot of resource that you want to give out there. That's who you are. It's something you are passionate about. And we appreciate you for that. You can see comments coming in. people confirming what you have said about a sister mentioned, I don't even say brother, I'm sorry, apologies, that the mom was in the doctor, don't eat this until they saw a dietitian before everything became balanced. Again, I'm reiterating what our sister said. She's not a medical doctor. Nobody should hold whatever she says here and take it to the doctor and say, this is what the person said I should do. And I don't want to follow whatever you are saying. I mean, you have said a lot, and I know questions are coming in, and people are taking their time to digest them. Somebody wrote a question. After that, once I say this, then we'll take announcement, then we'll come back to other questions. If you want to ask questions, please raise up your hand. If you can't do so, put it in the chat area. I'll help you to read it. Somebody asked, thank you for all this information. What is your insight on substitute sugar in coffee?
Okay, sir. We're talking about, in nutrition, we call them sugar alcohols. So we call them sugar alcohols because they don't have impact on insulin. And that is why people go for them. That is why people feel like, okay, refined sugar, no, it is dangerous, don't take that. Take sweeteners, artificial sweeteners and things. Because artificial sweeteners, they have 0 calories. They don't impact on insulin. When you eat artificial sweetener, your insulin is not going to be triggered because there's no glucose going into your blood. But at the moment, according to a lot of researches, I'm not really going to really say from my own end, like, okay, take it or not take it. But what we know, aside the fact that they do not impact insulin, they have other things that they can do. They have other side effects when it comes to your health. For example, we have some of these artificial sweeteners that are called excitotoxins. They impact your brain. When you eat them, your brain, all the neurotransmitters, they become so excited, and that can trigger headache. You will notice some people, they will tell you when they eat like saccharin, aspartame, all these, common artificial sweeteners, especially if you take them in higher amounts, they can trigger headache because they are excitotoxins. So, and also, well, lately they said some of them have been linked to cancer, or even though I am so very careful in the way I talk about cancer, because it is not everything that people say will cause cancer that actually cancer doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's not like, okay, when you eat something, oh, it's just going to cause cancer. When you eat Maggi, it's going to cause cancer. When you eat sugar, even sugar, refined sugar, does not have direct link with cancer. It is not a causative effect. Something can, in people that have medical doctors, they will tell you that, high risk, something can put you at the risk of something. Yeah, but that does not mean it's a causative effect. That does not mean when we say, oh, when you eat so much sugar, okay, it can actually put you at a high risk of having, visceral fat, obesity, insulin resistance. Yes, it can be that. But to say sugar causes cancer in medicine, doctors, that's what doctors will never agree with. So the same thing with artificial sweeteners. I would suggest, instead of artificial sweeteners, we have natural sweeteners. We have honey, we have dates. Even though they will tell you that, oh, they're still sweet, the problem is the processing. For example, if you want to eat dates, eat date whole. Don't remove the fiber. There is a reason these foods come whole the way they come, and we're supposed to consume them like that. Honey is 80% sugar. So when I see people talk about, oh, I don't take sugar now, I take honey, I just laugh because you're still taking sugar. Your brain does not understand the source of sugar, the source of nutrients. The only thing your brain knows is, okay, you have provided glucose, I need it, okay, then let me pick. It does not matter if it is from sugar or it is from honey or it is from rice or bread. So even if you don't eat sugar, you still abuse honey. You are still it's still going to it's the same thing. So, but the only difference between sugar and honey is if your honey is raw, unpasteurized, quality. You know you are not just eating it for sugar, you are eating it for the nutrients. The antibacterial, properties, the antiviral properties, every health benefit. But if your sugar is processed, if your honey is processed, it is not raw, unpasteurized, you're better off with that refined sugar because it is the same thing. It's just liquid sugar. In fact, the calories in honey is more than the one that we have in sugar. You see people, they don't eat sugar. You see them 500 ml of honey. You see them put it in tea, put them in pap, put them in. There's no point. So, yes, if you know that, you still want to enjoy some sweetness, which we are allowed to do, of course, we need some sweetness. You can use, pure sugar like honey, which is raw. But if it is raw, make sure you don't add raw honey into hot food, into hot tea. Allow your tea to get to a lukewarm temperature before you can add your raw honey, because the heat, the temperature will destroy all the natural nutrients in there. So, and then you can use this date sugar. We have a lot of other options now. You just don't abuse. Don't abuse. Maybe if you just 1 little teaspoon, it's okay. So, and there is also one stevia. We have some other ones that are actually natural sweetness. We have that. So, there's still a lot of research going on about it. But whatever you do, just don't go overboard. Just maintain moderation. And if you crave sweet things, eat fruits, eat dates, a snack. So, and I think that is okay.
Thank you very much for answering that question. Before I take other hands raised, I can see the HK now. I know the person that's bearing that name. All right. Let me just do a quick announcement because we have a lot of people here. I don't want them to escape before we give them this announcement. As the Amir introduced CNMO to one of us, you might not know when it started. It started in the 90s. And he has mentioned those people that formed CNMO. So CNMO, looking at the challenges within our community about where to pay zakat. Some people don't even know where to put their zakat. And we have a lot of people, individuals doing that. Yet is not able to capture what we need for our community. So we have come together whereby all the past Amirs, which include Professor D.O.S. Noibi, Baba Najimdeen Al-Kubra, Dr. Alawiye, Amir Garbasani, Amir Adeoye, current Amir Munir Ajayi, Imam T. Salami, and some other stakeholders, including our mothers like Alaja Mebude, Alaja Savage, and some imams, including Imam Ajikole, Imam Adeagbo, Imam Abdurrafi, and a host of others. They formed the stakeholders who formed this. So this is going to be ready soon. This is in beta stage for those that are in IT, which we are testing the payment. So you can pay your zakat, that's for zakat, and you can give sadaqah. This is one of its kind in our community that CNM has put together. So inshallah, we'll start collecting zakat during this Ramadan. Why Ramadan? People use Ramadan to measure their 1-year calendar. So this organization will look after the 8 people mentioned in the Holy Quran to be attended to when you give your zakah. And the names that I've mentioned, you would agree with me. There are people that they have strong integrity within the community. So your money will be in a safe hand. So we have accounts from one of the top, or let me say 2 of the topmost banks, Barclays and Lloyds. These accounts, we are linking them at the moment. But if you want the account number physically that you can make direct transfer to, we can make that available. I don't want us to leave without making this announcement. And that is why we said we should let this be known. So we thank Almighty Allah. We thank everybody who has supported this project when we started. I bet you we meet fortnightly, every Monday fortnightly, and we have done more than 35 sittings of these meetings. So for those that have been part of it, it's only Allah that can reward them. I just said I should quickly make that announcement before we go to the questions. Somebody asked for summary. I will give the summary, but I want people to benefit by asking our sister questions. She has a lot of material to give us. So if I continue to give her time to talk, you might not be able to ask those questions. So I'll start in the order of, you want to say something?
Sorry, sir.
Yes,
Yeah, because I saw a question there that I
Okay,
quickly want to respond because I've already talked about the honey.
go on.
Someone asked about what about if it is organic. You see, this is why I said, because I read a comment there by maybe one of our fathers there, HK mentioned. I think maybe the person joined later. So I've already warned, like I said, that I am not, and I will never, like I said, I am a student of knowledge in the field of functional medicine. So I would never, there's no way someone that is talking about health issues would belittle, would downgrade, would say there is no place for medicine. This is how it all started. Even functional medicine is an aspect of conventional medicine. So even functional medicine doctors would never say conventional medicine should take a backseat. So I am not in any way. There is a place. People that have been coming with me on Facebook for the last 3 years, I've been sharing my knowledge on Facebook. I have 2 pages on Facebook, Holistic Health with Rodia, and my name, Rodia Toriyomi Abdulkabir, on Facebook. If you check my pages, my followers, I have some of them here with me. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with me. They come with me everywhere I go. So they know I've always warned. Even when I see some things, people saying, oh, go and use this homemade remedy. If you have this cough, I said, no, speak to your doctor first. Even supplements, people say, oh, Rodia, what supplements can I be taking now? They said a woman of 40 years, we need this supplement. I said, has it been confirmed by your doctor that you need that supplement? If not, you need to. So I have always been an advocate of seeking a medical, consultation before you do anything when it comes to your health. Even in this aspect of nutrition, I talk to people. Share your doctor, go back to your doctor. There's this person I worked with hypertension. She showed me all the medication. I said, go back to the doctor. Speak from a place of knowledge. Speak from a place of someone that has gotten some awareness around what is going on. Okay, you can always talk to your doctor and say, okay, doctor, let's do this. So you can just, even medication. When someone says, oh, you don't have to use that medication, you do not have right to take yourself off medication. You have to be weaned off medication by your doctors. When they notice your conditions, have started to improve, they can wean you off it. Your doctor will not just wean you off 100 ml of medication straight away. They reduce this to 50. When they notice that, okay, your situation is improving, they can say now 20. They wean you off it. So I understand what I'm saying, and I will never say conventional medicine should be ridiculed, never. So,
Okay.
And then with the honey, the person said organic. This is also one thing that we need to understand. Nutrition is so deep that you really need to be a student of knowledge to even understand so many things. And especially now in the space of information, everyone is now, consultant. When you go on YouTube, when you go on Facebook, TikTok, everyone wants to talk about nutrition. Everyone says, this is what you can eat. And they said, if you eat this, it's going to cause cancer. There is a lot of confusion. People have been left with more confusion than before. People don't even know what to do now. They don't even know what to eat. They are tired. And I genuinely understand, because I would be, if I were to be in their shoes, because it's just too much. But I say to you, this is where the knowledge of an expert is needed. When I mentioned that when it comes to dietary recommendation, medical doctors are not the best, I am not saying that to belittle medicine. Even medical doctors will tell you that. That is why in some hospitals, even here in the UK NHS, they have dietitians, they have nutritionists, they have to make referral. If you need help with dietary, they refer you to a dietitian. Even within the schools, they have school nurses, they have dietitians there, they have nutritionists. So they also understand that is not their area of expertise. So that does not mean
Sister Rodia, I think some of the people that are raising up their hands, they are dropping it. I don't want them to just drop their hands without being answered.
The person that asked about the organic does not mean raw. That is what I want you to understand.
Okay.
When you go to Costco, for example, you see this big jar of honey. You see organic, broadly written. This is one of the aspects of nutrition that has left people with a lot of, confusion. Labels. This is why on my Facebook page, my people that have been coming with me, these are part of the things we talk about. I teach them how to read labels. When you pick that food up, when you walk into a store, Sonny, you know what you are eating. You understand your labels. So when you see organic on your honey, it does not equate raw. Organic just means that the bees that produce that honey were fed with organic food.
Okay, can we quickly take HK's question, Sister Rodia?
So, yeah.
Bismillah, Sister Rodia.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Partly a question, but I want to make a comment first. Thank you, Sister Rodia. We really appreciate the knowledge you're sharing with us. We think you're an asset to our community, and may Allah increase you in knowledge, and may you be able to continue to benefit us with the knowledge. I think the bit about doctors, I have to speak on that, because the last time I don't think it was the last time you were on CNMO. May have been the 2 Ramadans ago or something like that. There was a doctor on the audience, and she did pick up on a few things as well, but I can't remember exactly what. But I think it keeps coming up, and we need to address it. The truth is, everybody can be an expert in their own field, and they are at the buck stops with them. So when anybody else cannot do anything else, it stops with the doctors. So they then have to make a decision on life and death, for people. So we have to understand that they have a very important role to play in people's lives. And that puts them in a position where they actually have authority to speak on a lot of things. Yes, sometimes there are differences in what doctors say, as people may have experienced, and sometimes there are differences with doctors maybe in Nigeria and doctors abroad. Because I know that the position abroad generally is they will try not to give you medication as much as possible. So like people that, maybe they live in Nigeria and they come, they will say, why don't they give you medicine here? Because doctors in Nigeria will give medication very quickly or things like this. But generally, they're experts in their own field. They do know what they're saying. And they do have the authority to speak on people's nutrition. Because when you have obesity, they pick it up. Where when it's heart conditions, when it's diabetes, they pick it up. So they have to tell people what not to eat. So they might have to tell some people to reduce cholesterol. They might have to tell some people what type of cholesterol. And I know they're doing, people know me. I'm not a doctor. I'm just surrounded by doctors. Many times they do tell people, because they have to do it in a subtle way, and people don't take it seriously. So sometimes but the doctors didn't tell me. Sometimes they have to be subtle. But functional medicine is very different. Functional medicine is not regulated. It has not been given. I know doctors who went into functional medicine because they feel as a doctor they don't have enough time with their patients. So yes. I'm not saying functional medicine is not doing its own job, but it's not regulated. It's not given. I don't think within conventional educational system they get degrees in it. So we cannot equate functional medicine with what doctors are doing. And if you live in the UK, you know how much things are backed by research at every level. So doctors actually have the authority to speak on nutrition, and they do. And when they need to refer people to nutritionists, they also do. So, of course, they're humans. They absolutely don't know it all. But we have to actually give people that knowledge, because when they go to their doctors, I've met so many people that will say, Dr. It's within, it's their body. They have a right to say that, So it's not that it's not done. People do it. And I've heard this from people that were born in the UK, who are not even Nigerians. They'll tell you, they don't know anything in King's College. I'm looking at them like, who are you to tell the whole King's College that they don't know anything? But we have to tell people they do know what they're talking about. They don't know it all. But when you can't move your hands and legs, you're going to end up with them. And if you don't listen to them now, you will listen by force, by tipa at that stage. So us saying, we might say it in normal parlance, what do they know? Sometimes because the doctor is younger than you or something like that. Who is he to tell me what to do, So we hear it all the time, but they do know what they're talking about. They spend time on health. And if you're not happy with one doctor, you can try another doctor. You can try 3 doctors to get an average view. But we have to correct that notion, and we have to be very careful of our statements, especially when we're talking to the community. My question will be on fiber, because fiber is a big thing that we need to be taking fibers, and it's still very difficult for us as a community. I know there's a shift now towards people using vegetable, cauliflower, and these things for swallow to try and manage our fiber intake. I know you said in the past that Allah gives the people the food of that they require. And I appreciate that, because you can't be in Nigeria and be looking for cauliflower and broccoli, like you said before. So for those who are in Nigeria, they need to deal with it. But for those of us who are not in Nigeria, and the fact that even in Nigeria, they're not using their energy like the people of the past. I lived in a village before, and the people of in a town, in a rural, my landlord, he has a farm. He will walk to his farm, and walk back. So the people of Lagos, they're not doing that anymore. But for those of us living abroad, how do we deal with this fiber issue? Because our Nigerian heavy fiber seem to just be making us sit down. Only wamole. I don't know if that's the word. I know you said in the past, eat your amala and walk. But how do we deal with our fiber? That's my question.
Please take that question because of time, so that we can move to the next one.
Thank you so much, Ma, for the clarification. Even as a student of knowledge too, I've picked some things away from that. So like I said again, just to say for the purpose of this, because I know a lot of people would listen to this and then even away from here. So knowing that my stand has never been against conventional medicine, because I'm beginning to see it that way, knowing for a fact that this is not the first time. Geez, like she said, I remember a few years ago also, yes. And to be honest, someone actually mentioned that to me even after the show, in line with it's trying to come across as like maybe, I hope Rodia is not against conventional. No, I am not, like I said, and I will not. It is just the area of nutrition that I'm saying. Like, I understand that, of course, they can't. Like I said, there are a lot of discrepancies. And as a student of knowledge myself that I've seen, I've read books, I've read researches, and I've seen firsthand also that some of the things that we feel like we can trust medical doctors with when it comes to nutrition or our diet, so people are beginning to challenge, like the issue of cholesterol, for example. From what my mom said just now, you will notice that in conclusion, what the doctors are there to do is to manage your symptoms. Before you actually go to your doctor to say, oh, they are only seeing your symptoms. And what they are trying to do that moment is to keep you alive. So the root cause of those symptoms in the first place, how do you get that? Something must have happened prior to time, those symptoms. So that is where those ones that are trying to study, extensively on medicine are trying to come in like, okay, we need to get to the root cause of this. When someone has diabetes or there's something, there's a root cause to that. So how do we address the root causes instead of just saying, you know what, you have to just be on that medication for 20 years, you just have to be on that. When we look into the root cause, I think we are nearly there when it comes to the solution, because what we need to do is just to try, okay, stress, chronic stress can trigger hypertension. For example, chronic stress can trigger hypertension. Now, as a medical doctor, now you have hypertension. Oh my God, that can end your life. That moment, the right thing for them to do is to stabilize you, is to make sure that you know you are on medication to manage it. While managing those symptoms, you have to be looking into the root cause of that. Why are you chronically stressed? What is it? That is why, like she said, truly, the functional medicine doctors, they have more time, you know, to practice holistically, you know, to now get to the root cause of it. Like I said, medical doctor, they only have few minutes with one patient. Where is the time to get into the root cause of the problem? Where is it? So they know, they have the knowledge, but there is no time for them to dig deep into things. So I think moving forward, maybe this is the area I would try to really look into, to not cross. Maybe it's the line I would try to not cross, yeah, because I don't want it to look as if like, oh, Radia function. I don't have issue with medicine. In fact, I would really love to still become a doctor if I have all the resources. So, yeah. So thank you, Ma, for that clarification. I really appreciate it. So
On fiber, what is your
on
advice?
fiber, yes. One thing we need to understand about fiber is now the same, like I said, when you go on the website, for example, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, on who, you know, those people in charge of our nutrition, they will tell you, as a woman, daily, you need 25 grams of fiber or 30 grams of fiber per day. For men, they need 35 or 40 grams of fiber per day, because it is assumed that men have got more muscle to sustain compared to women. So they need more. Even total calories, our men need more calories compared to women because they have got more lean muscle to maintain. So they need more. When it comes to fiber, to be honest, it's so easy. It is because everything has changed. We have moved, like she said, we've moved away from nature now into extremely processed foods all around. Now you go into a store, you pick a bar of chocolate, you read the label, they say it contains 10 grams of fiber, it contains that. Labels are misleading, and people, they can't trust that if you are not eating whole food. For example, 100 grams of yam alone, when you just consume 100 grams of yam, it is sure that you are having nothing less than 8-9 grams of fiber, even more than that from that. If you have one apple alone, you know you are having certain grams of fiber a day. This is how you build your nutrients up for the day. Okay, when you have some vegetables, when you have some fruits, when you have some whole grains, these are the things that will provide you with fiber. By just maintaining that standard of whole food, you will be close to what you need. 100 grams of beans per day alone, you are not having nothing less than 10-15 grams of fiber from that. So this is how you build your nutrients up throughout the day. When you wake up, just focus on wholemeal. Don't look elsewhere. Don't say, oh, you want to have it in supplements, you want to have it in processed food. Focus on wholemeal. And vegetables, this is the only way now. They say, oh, you can have your fiber 5 a day. You know, NHS even say 5 a day. Okay, 5 a day of servings of fruits and this, you can have your fiber and everything. That is good. But it is not everyone that can really sustain vegetables. People don't understand. Raw vegetables can trigger digestive issues in people. This is why I suggest for people to steam their vegetables before they eat. The only reason they say we should eat raw is because they feel like heat will destroy, you know, some of the nutrients. Yes, high temperature or cooking destroys some of these heat-sensitive nutrients in food. However, there is a purpose for cooking our food. It is to make sure you have, your digestive system. You haven't given a lot of, heavy job for your digestive system. It takes your digestive system a longer time to break down raw food, especially if it is a fiber-rich food. That is why you notice when you eat some vegetables, you become bloated, like broccoli, like lettuce, like all this, raw carrots. You become bloated because your digestive system is doing, is under pressure to break that, cellulose, that sugar down. So this is what cooking would do. Cooking will help you kickstart that digestion process. So, like I said, focus on fruits for the day. You can have apple, you can have some bananas. We have seed and nuts. We have some seeds that are high in fiber. We have some shea. We have some this other seed that are so high in fiber. But the problem with them, like I said, they can be so hard on the digestive system. In fact, people with ulcerative colitis, for example, ulcer, gastritis, any inflammation of the stomach, they shouldn't even near anything that is high in fiber. It's like scratching your stomach wall. It's like pain in there because your digestive system is rolling, making sure everything is broken down. Because that is the definition of fiber. Indigestible part of carbohydrate. It cannot be digested. So what happens? It bypasses digestion, move into the large intestine, move into the colon, where the bacteria will feed on them, and that is why you produce a lot of gas. That is why some vegetables will make you become bloated, because bacteria feeding on them, fermentation process happening, so you're going to have a lot of gas being produced. So we can just focus on food. In fact, you don't have to eat brown rice. Some people say, oh, because of sugar, eat brown rice. Brown rice is so hard on the digestive system. You can eat white rice. Just don't go over. Just don't do so much with it. Little. Then, with a side, some proteins, maybe some vegetables that has been steamed a little bit, maybe a pho and things like that, with some soap. Do that. So, and I think this is how we can build up on our fiber. So, yeah. But
thank you very much for
fruits is good. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that answer. I have Omobola Afolabi. Please go ahead with your question. Is Omobola Afolabi aware that she's on mute? Okay, while she's trying to, okay.
Yes,
yeah, please go ahead.
Myself.
Yeah, go ahead, ma.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Sister Rodia. First of all, I just want to ask, Mr. Said Jima, are you Union Bank?
I know you are the one, ma. Go ahead, I'm the one.
I just want to confirm it. That's
I am.
My first question. Are you Union Bank?
Yes, I am.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Flesh and blood.
Yes, so. So thank God we met on the screen on Zoom now, because I have not seen your face. Alhamdulillah. Sister Rodia.
She's here. She's
yes,
hearing you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
For the lectures. I gathered some knowledge, a lot of knowledge on your lecture. What I want to ask you, the doctor said I'm diabetes, I have high cholesterol, and they gave me some medication. And when you are mentioned that they just gave medication, they will not send you to nutrition to give you the type of food you're supposed to eat. But we are collecting some food that we're supposed to eat. But is it compulsory for them to tell us that we have to go to nutritions?
Thank you, ma'am.
That's my question.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. Like I said, to say, is it compulsory for you to be, because to be honest,
No,
type 2
is
diabetes,
it compulsory for the doctor to tell us, to refer us to the
to refer,
nutrition?
yeah. It is not compulsory,
Okay.
provided that doctor
Yeah.
is that doctor has got the knowledge of what is going on.
Okay.
Because what I'm trying to lay emphasis on here, if you people really understand or coming with me, is the fact that there is a reason something is coming up. There is a reason behind every illness, every symptom. Headache, for example, if you have headache is not a disease. Cough is not a disease. Fever is not a disease. Doctors, if they are here, they will tell you. This is why now even NHS, they don't prescribe cough medication. When your baby is coughing now, you go to, they will not give you
pharmacy
medication anymore. There is a reason, because cough on its own is not a disease. It is a symptom of something going on the inside. But because these organs cannot talk, God purposely put symptoms in place to show up, so that you will know in there something is going on.
Okay.
Headache, the same thing. So type 2 diabetes, if you're diagnosed of type 2 diabetes, it is either your insulin, and that has always been the root cause. Okay. Your insulin must have resisted. What do we say? When is your insulin resisted? Insulin is the hormone in charge of regulating our blood sugar.
Right.
It is secreted from the pancreas. So there are some lifestyle habits that can impact that. It is different from type 1 diabetes. People with type 1 diabetes, they do not even have, their pancreas is even dysfunctional, it's not even working. So they don't even have insulin at all. So it is different from type 2 diabetes. You will notice that everything I say, I only make sure that type 2, because I know for type 1, it is different.
Okay.
So this is why most of the time type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease. It is something that when you look back over the years, your lifestyle habit, before you get to that stage, you can trace it. Stress can trigger your insulin to resist, because when you are chronically stressed every single time, your cortisol, your stress hormone will have to be triggered, and there's no way your cortisol will work without insulin. So imagine constantly, triggering your insulin. Your insulin will get to a stage where it's just going to give up and say, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired. So over the years, you see that. Also, sugar. When you have too much visceral fat, accumulated visceral fat around your abdominal area, you will notice that can trigger insulin resistance, because insulin is a fat storage hormone. Okay. Your liver will not work properly. All the organs around that place, they will struggle to function. So you can see it is all about looking into, how did I get here? Lifestyle. Even my dad, when my dad was 60 years old, or maybe 62, he got diagnosed of type 2 diabetes. And for somebody like me, my siblings, they start getting worried a lot. Hey, how did they, my dad? Somebody like me, from a place of knowledge now, I look back, I understand how that diagnosis was inevitable. It will happen. Okay. Because looking back at his lifestyle, this is a man that was chronically stressed. Imagine waking up from 4 a.m., coming back 12 a.m. every single day. You eat on the spot, you sleep straight away. Okay. My dad, every single day, my dad would take at least 1 or 2 bottles of soda drink, because my dad was a driver. He's always out there. He doesn't even eat at home. He just eat everywhere. My dad loves fruit a lot. My dad can actually eat 30 pieces of banana at a go. And because that is another issue we have. We think because something is natural, it's not going to hurt us. Even nature, you don't abuse it. So all this, when I put it together, you will know you will acknowledge, you should say, you know what, this is my part in this. So this is why I say to people, when your doctors, when you have that, when they say, you see, you have that, the next thing for you now is to ask questions. Sometimes from a place of, don't leave everything for your doctor. Ask them questions. They are there. That is what they are there to do. Doctor, what can I do now? What is it? Is there any way I can take this? Is there any way, So maybe, probably they may say, okay, I think you need to look into what you eat. What are you stressed? They will tell you, make sure you are doing exercise. Make sure you are taking fruits and vegetables. Make sure you are doing that. They will tell you what to do. But at the same time, that will still not address the root cause of the problem. So that is what I'm saying. So with type 2 diabetes, the first thing that I advise people to do is to check their diet. What are you eating? It may not even be the diet, Like I said, people think type 2 diabetes is just about sugar. Sugar doesn't cause diabetes. It is not a causative effect. Oh, when you eat sugar, it will cause, it doesn't cause it. Yes, it can put you at like a high risk, yes. It can be like a risk factor for it, but it doesn't cause it. It may not, in fact, it may probably not even have anything to do with food, with what we eat. There are so many things.
All right.
If you're sleep deprived, if you're not sleeping, if you have low vitamin D, all these things can trigger insulin resistance over the years.
Okay.
Magnesium, potassium, your kidney function, make sure you do a complete blood test. Check your kidney function, check your deficiencies. So I think this is where...
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for addressing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ma. And then thank you, everybody. In addition to the announcement that I made earlier, I was told that I omitted Professor Obadere. I don't know how I did that. That's our lead.
You mentioned it. You mentioned
okay.
Professor Obadere.
Okay, so Professor Obadere, okay, all right. Then again, Nisab is a very important thing because that is the threshold where you can decide whether you can pay Zakat. I'm talking about the Al-Ihsan Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation formed by CNMO for the Nigerian Muslim community again. So Nisab is the threshold. Is either measured in gold or with silver. So that will be on the website. You see it very soon. Again, you can see your donation real time, how much you have donated to the organization. Another one I want to mention is there will be different currencies there. You see Naira, you see pounds, you see euros, you see dollars. All right, maybe we'll get to yen later, but these four are the currencies we want to look at. Then the last one I want to mention is that if you think you want to pay your zakat, I can't overemphasize that. Let us know so that you can use it. We'll give you the account number. People have started paying into the account in form of sadaqat. So we just want you to know about this. I think it's a time for us to it's about time to draw curtain on the program because we look at the time. We said 1 o'clock, although we started at 15:15. We really appreciate everybody for their time. You have really been patient with us very, very much. And then I just want to recap what our sister had said. She has been the one doing the talking. Let me just help her do the summary so that not be like she was the only one working here. She started with telling us that healthy aging is not about numbers because that has to do with qadar, what Allah has destined you, how long you're going to live on earth. So how you use it, I'll come to you, I've seen your hand. And then you also said there are 5 pillars that we need to look at. So if there's anything you want to add to it, you can add to it. 5 pillars, you mentioned mental health. It should be optimal. We should challenge our brain, have social connection so that we can function cognitively. You mentioned nutrition. It is needed for the brain to function properly. You need to be sure of what you are feeding your brain. You talked about 102 nutrients. You mentioned the macros, the micros, and the 92 essential ones. But particularly, you advise to take proteins, omega-3, and a bit amount of fat in your food, which comes naturally. But however, you kept saying that you are not a medical doctor. Seek your medical doctor's advice. You mentioned physical strength by taking protein to strengthen you and do some exercises, get moving, be mobile, don't just sit down. You mentioned vitamin D and calcium. If you have too much of vitamin D, its accumulation can trigger many health issues. Calcium, you said you should be careful because for you not to have calcified arteries. Then you mentioned hydration, drinking water, and if you are the one that exercises, if I get you well, you need to take liquid which has electrolytes. And you manage your stress. Manage your stress. Put your stress under control because it can affect your brain and liver may suffer. Genetics, you said genetics can load the gun, but your lifestyle can pull the trigger. So even though all these things are there, I want to help you to caveat it again. You are not a medical doctor. You are just saying it as a nutritionist. If they need advice, they should go to their medical doctor. I'm helping you out to re-emphasize this. It is important so that we don't misconstrue what she has said here. She's telling us what she knows works in her line. I want to put one thing into what she has said. It is only when it's worse that we go to the doctor. But she's talking about before it got worse, the things you need to do. And from my own experience, I've been to the GP one time. You know, they said you do blood work. I did blood work. And the doctor, after looking at my results, she booked an appointment with a nutritionist. So they work hand in hand. And the lady talked me through what they have seen in my blood, and this is what I need to be taking, you know. So that's just to tell you what the sister is saying. It works in pari passu. There cannot be doctor without a nutritionist that look after the patients as well. And there'll be a doctor before nutritionist can also work perfectly. So they work hand in hand. Sister Rodia, you want to add anything before I hand over to the person that will do appreciation?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Just the about the glycemic index. Someone put a question down. Let me quickly respond to it. Yes, I understand that when it comes to managing our blood sugar, there is one thing, especially NHS, they are so passionate about, is make sure glycemic index foods. In fact, there is a there is a list for all the foods and their glycemic index and glycemic load. We have both of them. And what that means is, what we mean glycemic index, you know, how long it takes for your carbohydrate food to get digested and absorbed into your bloodstream. That is the glycemic index measurement of a food. So the person reminded me that white rice has got glycemic index of 70, brown rice has got 55, which means on the glycemic index scale, brown rice is lower. Yes, it makes sense. However, in nutrition, we don't just focus on the nutrients. Let me give you an example. When you say, beans is so full of nutrients, it has 18 grams of fiber, it has 20 grams of protein, it has that. There is one thing for a food to have all these profile when it comes to nutrients. What about absorption? Let me use the brown rice you mentioned as a case study. Brown rice has got more nutrients, truly, when, you know, compared to white rice. But calorie-wise, they are pretty much the same thing. Second thing, because brown rice is still intact with the outside layer, all the nutrients the brown rice has promised you will not be absorbed. That is one thing. That is what processing of brown rice into white rice has done. By removing that outside layer, the nutrients can be absorbed and the digestion will be easy. Because there are things we call anti-nutrients. We have them in all foods. For example, when you eat spinach, for example, spinach is so healthy. It has this, it has potassium, it has. What about anti-nutrient? This is why you shouldn't eat spinach raw, ugu raw, ewedu, okra, all these green leafy vegetables are not supposed to be consumed raw because of the anti-nutrients they come with. Because anti-nutrient means against the nutrient. So what is the point of all the nutrients they come with? And there are anti-nutrients that will not make those nutrients to get into where they are needed. So by just steaming your spinach, you have removed 80% of oxalate, for example. By just cooking your okra for a few minutes, you have removed the oxalate. You have softened the complex sugars in it that can cause bloating. You know, some people, when they eat okra, you see how their stomach is like, when they eat beans also, you can see some people, they have that. It's because complex sugars in these foods, they are so hard on the digestive system to, so they can't go through. So your digestive system is working hard. So you will be bloated, you will have diarrhea, your stomach. So it happens. So to reduce this, you cook them just maybe for a little, maybe just few minutes. So yes, brown rice is lower on glycemic index, but I want you to know it's still sugar. The end point is still going to be glucose, though not as quick as that of white rice. But however, you can still enjoy your white rice. It doesn't matter. Like I said, we only need 100 grams. White rice, any food that is carb should be side dish. We make them main dish. That is the problem. They're supposed to be side. So a little bit of them, that's fine. So I think that is okay. I think that has answered the question.
Thank you very much. That really answered the questions. I really appreciate your time. As always, that will come to you for these kind of interesting sessions. Have you never failed to answer us? We pray Allah continue to grant you strength, the knowledge, and the opportunity to continue to deliver what you love, because you are contributing to the community in immense form. So may Allah continue to enrich you in knowledge. Amen. And bless you and your family. So without wasting our time, is Alhaja Babalola still there to render appreciation to everybody before I call on Imam Ajikonle to give us the closing dua?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikis salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Once again, I say thank you so much. May Allah reward everyone on the platform. We appreciate you, and we've gained a lot. I've received so much compliment from people that we've invited. They've gained a lot. They've taken a lot away. And I take this opportunity as well. Alhaji Said, thank you very much for taking the platform in a way that I didn't plan, but thank you so much. And I thank our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our imams on the platform. And I now pass on to Alhaji Imam Ajikonle to help us to conclude. Thank you so much.
Imam Ajikonle, before you start the closing dua, I just want to flash the next program that we have so that communities are aware the person we are bringing and they look forward to that. Just let me know when you can see it. I'm sure. Can you see it now? Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yes.
So please take note of that date. I don't need to introduce this man to you. May I see in his picture, you know what I'm talking about.
Please, you need to introduce him to us.
I don't need to introduce him. Because if you hear the name Professor Ishaq Oloyede, alone is for you to know that it's not a session that you should miss. Please tell your friends, your family, your neighbors.
Some people may not know him.
Okay, this is the CEO. This is the head of
Alhaja Afolabi. Inshallah, I will forward to you.
Jam Bunyo is not WAEC. We say WAEC. It's Jam. So it's Jam. So
sorry, it's not everybody that knows him. Yes.
Let me explain him so that we can hear. Don't let us talk over each other.
All of us does not go to University of Ilorin.
Please, let me do my work. Unless you want to do it for me. Let me make it bigger for you. That's Professor Ishaq Oloyede. He's a registrar and the CEO of JAMB, that is Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board.
Okay.
He is a professor of Islamic Studies and former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, Nigeria. That's my alma mater. So this is why this is really, really close to my heart. So please, if you miss it, I'm going to fine you. You must.
We won't miss it, inshallah.
Please don't miss it. And again, Imam Ajikole, I said, I'm going to pray for everybody. I want you to pray for me too, because today is my birthday.
Oh,
Happy
Abajo.
birthday.
Oh, yeah. And yesterday is mine.
You pray for
Don't bribe Imam Ajikole, you have to pay.
I just
Imam Ajikole, I'm here.
And remember our sister Rodia too, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We are all February. We are all February birthday. Don't forget me.
Oh yeah, the platform is getting a bit. Thank you for that. But that's how you bring your face. But that's how you bring your face. Bring back your face, brother Said.
This is my face, sir.
So it's good to see that. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. First, I must.
My account number is opened.
It's all right. Thank you. I must express my profound appreciation for the success recorded today, and I must, in the same breath, appreciate and congratulate Alhaja Fauza Awolowo and our team for these efforts, and I say a big thank you to all of you. This is what our women are like. They can be so pushful that the men will feel like, forced to do something. Like Brother Said had no business coming on platform today, but he did that to just say, this is my token of appreciation of what you guys are doing. That's our moms. We need to give you this assistance. I'm actually in Dublin now. I was meant to attend the program, and I said no. I was going to miss it. I only got it by biscuits to know that the program was going to be. It was good that Baba got in touch with me. Having said that, Alhaja Rodia is our champion in the community here, and in all fairness, when I tuned on, I said, let me see new restrictions that I'm going to be getting from my sister today about the don'ts and don'ts and don'ts. And I remember the last time when I said to my wife, come and listen to Rodia when you said I cannot take this one. So, and I got my liberty back. Yeah, I said, except you want to deliberately punish me. Otherwise, Sister Rodia, who knows better, said, you can continue to give it to me. We ask that Allah will continue to increase you in this in your useful knowledge so that you can disseminate what we know as imams, whether you like it or not, is why we are into all of this. And I'm sure this is just happening in this our time and age. And I think Sister Rodia will be back sometime soon to tell us why we're having to face this. I was just telling my wife, I said my dad lived for 95 years without bothering about anything. He was healthy under the last breath. He was healthy and he didn't have to care about this. I can see that a lot of attention is being paid to nutrition these days as if life is all about it. But then you can still say that our life revolves around it. So you need to know and do your best. While we are doing this on the Islamic front, Allah says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا نَفْسَ الَّذِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Allah says, for you need to be sensible. You have to be alert. Listen to those who know. If you do not know, how not to kill, not to take a soul, which of course includes your own very soul. This is why we're having this meeting today. Do not kill yourself because it's forbidden to do so. So that look for those who know if you do not know. Otherwise, we get plunged into this kind of confusion. Eat this, don't eat this. You remember something, and I'm going to say this to you to express how much I appreciate, coming on this platform and courtesy of our welfare CNMO headed by Alhaja Babalola. I really cannot thank you. When I go to the gym, I was stampeded into going to the gym. My children said, we will pay for it. You have to go. Your tummy is protruding. You have to go there. We don't know what mommy is feeding you with. And the first thing I saw, the very first time, it struck you know, it resonates with me so very well, and it's still with me. You know, when, in fact, I had to ask the instructor that, is it all right if I take this, a picture of this? And he said, raise your heart rate. Do you understand that? Raise your heart rate. You know, your heartbeat. Just do something. When you are talking about the muscular building, you know, make it, just do something. And there's a session that I attend, it's called over 50 plus, because they are gentle with us. It's not too strenuous like my 20-year-old session is different from mine. So just try. This is my own takeaway. And Brother Said has done a lot of, he's helped me a lot, so I don't have to go to do all of that. But I'm just adding this. Everybody has to be God because it's holistic. It's not doing one. Like my baby will go to the gym. He will spend 3 hours there. When he comes back home, 35 slices of bread and 40 crates of eggs and 1 bowl of rice and everything. So what is the thing is everything is calm now. You need to calm down with all of this. So everything has to be regulated. From there, you can sense my excitement because of the birthday boy. I thought I was going to go through the corners to express my birthday wishes to him. But now that he has brought it to the platform, I ask Almighty Allah, who is the giver and taker of life, to make the remainder of your life better than the one you lived. And we ask him that he would expand you in all areas of your need, including earth that we are talking about. You need, we pray that Allah and every other person who serves this prayer on this platform, on behalf, as we celebrate, and we are celebrating with you, we will not commiserate with you. We are celebrating your new age, and we are asking Almighty Allah, you know who you are today, and you know what you are. You know who you are, you know what you are, and you know where you want to be. Exactly where you want to be, we ask Almighty Allah to make this day a springboard for you to get to where you attain or desire to be in your life. You will, ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى وجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. Imam Wadi Agbo, I don't know what your issue is. I don't know if it's your birthday today or you are jealous of Brother Said or something.
He's jealous.
But because you have asked that we pray for you, I pray first for Sister Radia, because I know we are going to be running away from some things. I've been listening to her today. And that's for that she deserves, you know, our prayer. We thank Almighty Allah, who has provided, who has made us Muslims, who and our religion being a holistic religion that takes it's not just a deen, it's a complete and total way of life, which also, of course, includes how you must know. It's a sin in Islam to take your life. It's also a sin to wish for death. So this is why you have to do whatever you need to be able to live for as long as Allah has decreed for you. Do not be an instrument of shortening your own life. I greet and appreciate every other person on this platform. Elijah Bilkis Savage, those are our super women in the community, just like we have Elijah Radia. I don't want to do a better prayer. In Ibadan, we don't do better prayer. And when we want to be abusive, those who are abusive, they don't do better abuses, they just do something. So I want to top it up with something that we say in Muslim Association of Nigeria. Anytime someone is celebrating, it's I don't know, it works for them because we have so many old people there, and this is what has been keeping them. Brother Said, you know my accounts. This one, I'm not going to do it for free, and I'm very serious about it. It has to be bound. You know, when alerts, you don't get alerts. I will tell you, I don't get alerts. We will say to Almighty Allah, the prayer of Abu Bakr, when he attained 40. And he said to Almighty, and it's in print in the book of Almighty Quran Karim, said, Rabbi Awsini, أنا أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأنا أعمل صالحا ترضاه فاصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين. I copy and paste exactly, Brother Said, when the way you mentioned all of our Babas who started it is a very good initiative. I copy and paste, and I said to them the prayers that I have said to them. And I'm wishing that they will continue to lead the community, you know, Amen. For as long, you know, for as long as Allah has, you know, willed. Baba Badiri, I know his brother Said's head. So if he missed him, he must be. He has a lot. He's thinking about him already. So it's not one person who deliberately miss. His darling Baba. So we ask Baba that Allah will continue to preserve him upon goodness, and he will continue to do the good job he's doing for the nation and for the community. Inshallah, I'm also very, very appreciative of the number we had today. Quite impressive. The fact that it's a Saturday and one leading to Ramadan. I'm talking about Ramadan. Inshallah, let us get ready. But one thing I'm going to do a caution about, just like Sister Radia would have said, don't do this, don't do that. Please take a break from that thing you have in your hand. It's called telephone. It's called smartphone. When you try and start, seeing how you can disconnect a bit, you won't die if you have it just for 1 hour. Then you must have taken a very, good first step, inshallah. We ask Almighty Allah to preserve us, to witness today's, this year's Ramadan and beyond, inshallah. I'm coming back to Elijah, of course, at Babalola, Awolowo, and your team for today. I must tell you, this is a success, and we ask Almighty Allah to continue to crown it with to reward, to not deny you with the associated rewards, inshallah. I pray for those who are distressed in one way or the other, and those who are oppressed as well, and those who are in one bondage or another, bondage of sickness, bondage of arrest, bondage of what other form of any kind of bondage. You ask Almighty Allah to release you from the shackles that you are winning. Elijah, our father Muniruddin, who is our peer, did a very brilliant presentation at the start of the program. I ask that Allah, who makes leaders, who makes them, and determine their success, continue to apportion success to everything that you do all the time. Brother Said, congratulations and happy birthday. Allahumma rabbana ablana min azwajina wa surriyatina qurrata a'yun waj'alna lil muttaqina imama rabbana atim lana nuran wa ighfir lana innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan innaka antal wahhab. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Make sure to miss everything. Make sure you miss everything next week. But Professor Loyedi,
inshallah,
do not, for all the powers in Britain, make sure you do not miss it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma balighna Ramadan.